Only on 12, a Medford business has a special anniversary today, and it has you to thank.
KDRV TV, NewsWatch 12, is celebrating its 40th anniversary today. We were first on the air February 26, 1984.
And as we celebrate our 40th anniversary, we invite you to celebrate with us with the review of the journey that we've shared with NewsWatch 12.
And now, NewsWatch at 5.
A story today about NewsWatch 12 comes with 40 years of watching out for you. KDRV TV started February 26, 1984, joined by KDKF and several other transmitter sites to extend our service across Southern Oregon and Northern California. NewsWatch 12 went on the air 40 years ago, 5 years after a meeting called by Ron Kramer. In 1979, he contacted orchardist Dunbar Carpenter about starting a new commercial television station in Medford.
We decided pretty much at that first meeting to put a company together, and we went and found 8 other local people to serve as investors, shareholders. So our intention was that it would be a locally owned and very community responsive and very high quality television operation.
KDRV is the area's ABC affiliate, providing local and network programming. KDRV's broadcast started with a welcome greeting by General Manager Keith Lawless, then a movie with Sean Connery and Donald Sutherland in The Great Train Robbery. It was a day when Van Halen's Jump was the U.S.'s #1 song, and Rainbow Coalition leader Jesse Jackson ran for president.
I want you, the people with whom I have stood, to stand with me, and together we can win.
Vice President George Bush was campaigning for Ronald Reagan in 1984 when NewsWatch 12 was on the air in a Medford office building, while permanent studios were under construction next door.
One of the things that was really important to me about developing the station was that it have a really top quality, first-rate technical plant. And it had an influence on the market.
The station that went on the air February 26, 1984, gave local news a home at NewsWatch 12 once its new facility was built. That date was September 16, 1985.
Live from KDRV Studios in Medford, this is NewsWatch 12.
Good evening and welcome to the very first edition of NewsWatch 12 at 5. We're pleased that you're here. I'm Tracy Mitchell.
I'm Jeffrey Riley. Here's what's happening.
What was happening then?
That was the week of Farm Aid, organized by Willie Nelson, Neil Young, and John Mellencamp, with performers such as Johnny Cash, Bob Dylan, and Tom Petty. In Ashland, Oregon Shakespeare Festival had its own milestone, celebrating 50 years of stage productions.
Don't miss the triumphant Golden Anniversary season, now underway at the Oregon Shakespearean Festival in Ashland.
104%. Challenger, go with throttle up.
As NewsWatch 12 navigated the 1980s, it provided coverage of Challenger's deadly space shuttle explosion. NewsWatch 12 covered politics of the time, from presidential campaigns to local efforts for national defense and for defending local issues.
Is timber not put here for man's use? You are a hypocrite, buddy.
No, we want viable alternatives.
Local issues involved the area's natural habitat and a generational change for the region's economy as it transitioned from lumber industry reliance.
Because of that disclosure in the Tribune, it is highly unlikely that the $300 million plant will be constructed in the Medford area.
Other news coverage showed leaders leaving office, some on their own terms, others not.
Serving the state I love has come at a cost to another love, my family.
I have apologized to all concerned in this matter and sought their forgiveness. Now, too, I apologize to you.
Tourism brought people to the area, whether for action outdoors or for actors in theater productions such as Oregon Shakespeare Festival. Performers found their way to the area, such as Jim Belushi, who farms in the Rogue Valley.
Then I flew home and had a big Thanksgiving. I was in Oregon with my family.
Patrick Duffy just last month sold a Rogue Valley home where he'd lived 3 decades.
You watch the sun drop down behind the mountain, and you just consider yourself one of the luckiest people in the world.
And Ginger Rogers talked with NewsWatch 12 when her legendary dance partner, Fred Astaire, died in 1987.
I think Fred Astaire and Cary Grant were the two individuals, male, who had that quality.
Get the hose in, protect this low boy!
1987's Summer of Fire was a forerunner of summers we experience now. NewsWatch 12 reporters were in Siskiyou County, where more than 20 fires burned in Rogue River Siskiyou National Forest. They also were in southern Oregon, checking on wildfires and evacuations.
You go in there, we're advising you not to go in the area. If you do, you're going in at your own risk. No! No!
And the 90s brought more wildfires and flooding, such as 1994's Summer of Flames and the New Year's Day flood of 1997. The deadly Hole Mountain Fire near Sam's Valley was one of several 1994 wildfires, including others in the Rogue Valley and near Shady Cove.
We need to get everybody out of here.
Okay.
Mother Earth goes through her changes, and we're here, and we have to live with them.
Hey, Mother Nature's burning out here, and I'll tell you what, she's going to burn.
That summer, wildfire killed Southern Oregon State University student Doug Dunbar. He was among 14 Oregon hotshots trapped and burned at Colorado's Storm King Mountain.
1995 brought a next step in the political legacy of U.S. Senator Mark Hatfield.
We have decided the time is here to come back home to Oregon.
Hatfield served 5 terms as a senator for Oregon, opening his Senate seat in 1996, which Ron Wyden filled after his own 15 years in the U.S. House. Hatfield's decision left Oregon filling both of its U.S. Senate seats, with Senator Bob Packwood resigning his Senate position in 1995 under threat of expulsion from harassment, abuse, and assault of women allegations.
As political floodgates opened for Hatfield's replacement in 1996, 1997 started with real flooding in the Rogue Valley on New Year's Day, when Glenn Speace's house in Talent fell into a flooded Wagner Creek.
It's either laugh or cry, I don't know which.
The flooding caused National Guard deployment, emergency shelters, closed schools, closed bridges, and I-5 closed from the Rogue Valley to Dunsmuir. Ashland told its residents to avoid using water because the city could not keep up with filtering its overwhelmed water supply.
Bear Creek reached an all-time record high flow today. That's obvious to people who've had their lives affected or damaged by the flowing water in Bear Creek.
As KDRV navigated into the new century with a new president, NewsWatch 12 helped deliver news about an attack on the U.S. September 11, 2001, attributed to Middle East al-Qaeda terrorists led by Osama bin Laden. The attack killed 2,977 victims.
Well, based on what we have and not much air, I think we're going to pull them back. It's better safe than sorry.
The Biscuit Fire was the big wildfire in a fiery 2002 when it burned nearly 500,000 acres in the Rogue River Siskiyou National Forest in southern Oregon and northern California. It was named after Biscuit Creek in southern Oregon. Wildfires burned more than 1 million acres in Oregon that year. The urgency of response also caused a helicopter crash.
We all just kind of got silent. Everybody, the radio communications went dead. To my surprise, we got down there and pilot Scott Dunn was standing next to his craft.
NewsWatch 12's history of watching out for you includes candidates' debates, such as when Governor John Kitzhaber's term limit in 2002 put Ted Kulongoski on the ballot, defeating Kevin Mannix. It also involves town halls with you, such as this presentation 20 years ago that could resonate today.
From NewsWatch 12, this is Town Hall, a closer look at community issues. Tonight's topic, Southern Oregon's growing pains.
Do you see long range, some issues about having available land on which to build?
Absolute concern, and it's not because of local government here, it's because of state land use law.
It definitely sounds like we are generating some discussion, and Rich Rody is here now from Oregon Action. What are some of the solutions? We're hearing a lot of people saying this is a big problem for them.
Well, you know, in our organization, we're coming together to really build a strong citizen consensus around the really critical problems of affordable housing.
So much history to look at over 40 years, and there's more history ahead on NewsWatch 12 and the Rogue Valley.
Coming up in this 40th anniversary newscast, we'll look at wildfires and pandemic in Southern Oregon and Northern California.
And we'll look at our more recent history, including ways that we're watching out for each other on NewsWatch 12.